The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
Next on the Bronx Journal, Miriam Pena, Director of PAL, Police Athletic League, South Bronx Center, Elvani Panil, participant of JET, the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program, martial arts coach Masuko, and Marie Yolene Youseb, founder, and project manager Vanessa Leone of Community to Community.
This is the Bronx Journal, the television edition of the online multilingual community newspaper. Published by the students and faculty of the Journalism, Communication, and Theater Department at Lehman College. On the internet, on the radio, and on television, the Bronx Journal covers the issues concerning the people of the Bronx.
Welcome to the Bronx Journal. I'm Arlene Alcantara. The Bronx is full of households where parents may be working 2 or even 3 jobs just to provide a comfortable living for their families. But then what happens when school is finished and parents are still on the clock? The Police Athletic League, known to many as PAL, offers its South Bronx Center as a great place for educational, entertaining, and hands-on activities. With us today is Director of the South Bronx Center, Miriam Pena, to tell us more about New York's largest nonprofit youth development organization. Miriam, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, so first tell us more about how you got started with PAL.
I came to PAL 7 years ago. I was working with teenagers, homeless adolescents, for about 10 years, and I wanted to make a change. So I decided that I wanted to work with younger kids, and I pursued a job there. I got an interview, and I started 7 years ago. Those 7 years I spent at the New South Bronx Center.
What responsibilities does the director of an organization like PAL have?
Every day, it's a different day. So you go in the morning and prepare for the day and make sure that the program runs smoothly. But there's a list of responsibilities that have to be met. Staff have to be hired, they have to be qualified. I have to make sure that they're on time and that basically the program is running. That's just the everyday activities for the day, but it changes and it's a lot that comes along with that job.
So what past experiences has prepared you for a position like this one?
I never worked with children before. I did have, I'm a social worker by trade. I have a master's in social work, and I had the qualifications. So, basically with children, you just have to be nurturing and listen to them. And, if you want to make a difference in their lives, it's basically one of the big qualifications, other than the educational piece.
And why PAL? Why PAL?
Why PAL? I actually have a friend that works for PAL, and at the time I wanted to make a change, and he said, hey, they're looking for directors, why don't you go and apply? And that's what I did, and there I am.
Okay, so in a nutshell, tell us what is PAL and how it serves the Bronx community.
PAL is going to be 100 years old next year. We've been around since 1914. It's a long history. But it basically started almost 100 years ago when a captain and a commissioner decided that the kids needed a place to play. There was a lot of gangs in the Lower East Side, and that's how PAL Play Streets came about, which is, they close the streets in the summer and the kids play in a safe environment. We have, it grew from there, and now we have 21 centers throughout the boroughs, including Staten Island, Queens, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. And we have 4 in the Bronx, and I am lucky to be at the New South Bronx Center. I love it there. We have an after-school program, and we have a summer camp at that center, as well as a youthling program for kids that have been in trouble and are referred by probation, and they come for counseling and workshops. We also have an evening team programs, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday, for the kids that have outaged the after-school program.
Okay.
That's what we have in my center in a nutshell, as far as programs.
So how does PAL help parents with busy work schedules?
My program is funded by the Department of Youth and Community Development for kids that are between K through 5th grade. And through that funding, I'm able to provide services to the kids in the after school, as well as during their breaks in school. They have we provide them with 13 days of holiday camp. During those 13 days, it's either in the winter, recess, spring, and midwinter. So the parents don't have to worry about paying a babysitter for those days that we have them in our program. That's just the holiday camp. And they come to us at 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 p.m. So we have them for 10 hours. In the summer, when we have camp, they're there also 10 hours, from 8 to 6. The parents don't have to worry about paying a babysitter for those days. We also do not charge them any money to be in the after-school program as well.
That's very helpful for parents with a busy work schedule.
Yes, but we're not limited to just the 5th graders. I take kids that are older. The fees are very small for those kids, and a lot of the times I waive the fees, if the parent is in need. So we have, a pretty big area. And so we have a lot of kids in the program, I go up to 200, sometimes 300 in the summer.
Okay. And what are some of the other different programs and activities that are provided for the kids that go to PAL?
In the summer camp? During the
after school or the summer camp? You could say both.
Okay, the after school program, we pick up the kids from the schools. So the parents do not have to worry about, how the kids are going to get there. The kids are picked up, my staff picks them up, and sometimes some of the schools have 2 pickups, so 2 dismissals, so we have 2 pickups. And the staff, stays in the center with some of the kids, and then half the staff goes out and brings the kids to the center. Once they are there, they're giving a meal, a sandwich, vegetables and milk, that kind of thing. And then they go into activities. We have 3 periods, and the periods are broken down into, our program is broken down into three components. We have PAL Smart, PAL Fit, and PAL Arts. And the way that we design our activities is around those 3 components.
Okay, and is there a required age to be in the program for PAL?
The kids have to be, we take kids in kindergarten as long as they've been to pre-K. Okay. If they've been in pre-K or are attending pre-K, we can take them. They have to be in school, obviously, and we go up to the 8th grade. And all they have to do is come to the center and fill out an application and, agree to provide us with the report cards and come to the meetings and that kind of thing. So we can help the kids better. We use the report cards to see where the kids are staying, at what level they are, in school, and then we provide additional tutoring for those that need it, during the after school.
Okay, and what are more of the hours that the center's open? So is it just after school, or?
We start after school, yes. The staff
comes. At what
time? We start at 3 o'clock, but most of the staff is there a little early to go out and pick up their kids from various schools, and then we end at 6 o'clock.
Okay, so let's say I'm a parent that has I'm watching now and I'm interested and I have a child that's from ages like say 5 to 10. What are the activities that I would know as a parent that would get my kids interested in going to PAL?
Okay, so we have, like I said, we have 3 components the after school has, and during the we have Pal Smarts, which during that period, the kids we do homework assistance and help them with their school, with the work that they're doing in their schools. We also do a lot of STEM activities, which is math, science, technology, and try to provide a lot of learning activities for the kids while having fun. We also have, in addition to that, we also have the arts, PAL Arts, and the kids are trained in pretty much in visual arts, and performing arts. So we have competitions, citywide competitions with the other centers, and they do a lot of poetry and a lot of literacy, and things that are fun, but at the same time the kids are learning.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then PAL Fit is the fitness and healthy and wellness piece. So there's a lot of obesity, among our kids, in particularly, in the Bronx, that we've been hearing about. So we created a program that's designed to provide them with a lot of fitness activities and teach them how to have healthier lifestyles and talk to them about nutrition and teach them that how to eat properly, that kind of thing.
That's good. Now, what about the same question, but if I have a child that's a preteen or a teenager, because teenagers aren't so easily persuaded.
We have team program for the kids that our after school ends at 13, at 14, and then the 14-year-olds, if they want to continue, they can come to our evening programs. During that time, we have open gym. We have a beautiful gym where they play basketball, and we have a program called Cops and Kids, where cops from different precincts bring the kids from their community and have tournaments and that kind of thing. We also have a game room with a lot of activities for them to do. A Dance Revolution, they play pool, they play,
cool.
those Xbox games that they love so much, which I don't know any other name. But, and we also have individual tutoring for those that need it. And we have an apprenticeship program where the kids learn a lot of, they learn how to do maintenance work and also a lot of the technology pieces, how to do a PowerPoint presentation, Excel, those things. So a lot of teenagers, I find, that know a lot about computers, but they don't know certain things that will be good for them to, maybe help them get a job. Yeah, so we're trying to do that for them.
That's good. Now, where can we contact you?
Well, we have a website, and the New South Bronx is one of the sites, and my phone is listed. I'm usually there from 10 until very late, but it's easy. I have staff. You come in, you get an application, bring the documents that are needed, and the child, is in the program.
And where is the South Bronx Center located?
It's located at 991 Longwood Avenue between Fox and Beck Streets, and is part of the South Bronx, and that's why the center is called the Bronx, the New South Bronx.
Of course. Okay, so thank you, Miriam, for being with us. And we'll be back with more of the Bronx Journal.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You see what's good.
Oh, no, I made a lot of mistakes. That's okay. It's fine.
Hey, how's it going?
Sir, are you okay?
What? Oh, this? It's probably nothing. I'm sure it'll go away.
Go away? But, sir, that can't be good.
No, it's cool. Really.
Do you want a napkin or something?
Everything's fine. Thanks.
You wouldn't ignore this. So why ignore the signs of a stroke? At the first warning signs, call 911 immediately. Because time lost is brain lost.
先生你好，歡迎光臨，等等先。唔該晒。
Brandon.
Welcome back to the Bronx Journal. I'm Henry Cuevas. Are you looking for a job that pays well and is interesting work? Imagine what it would be like if you suddenly relocated to another country. Joining us is a former CUNY student who accepted an opportunity to go to teach English in Japan and went on to teach in New York public schools. Albany Peniel is here to share her experience in the program known as JET, the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. Albany Peniel, welcome to our program. How was your life as a student in CUNY?
I would be what would consider to be a traditional student. I lived with my parents, and I attended the City College of New York undergrad directly after high school. It was a good experience.
Did you work and study, or just?
I did. I had several jobs. I worked in our school writing center, and I had a couple of other jobs around the city while I took classes.
Like many students.
Yeah.
Right? So, how did you know about this program, JET?
I was actually taking an education course when a professor invited all of the students in his class to attend an information session about the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. And I thought it sounded interesting. I had a brother who was living in Japan at the time, so when I attended the session, I was convinced that that was something that I wanted to do once I graduated from my undergraduate program.
Okay, so this program means JET. JET is the meaning of what?
JET is short for Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. It's a program sponsored by the Japanese government where young people are invited to come into their country to either serve as assistant language teachers or as cultural exchange representatives. Assistant language teachers are those who work with Japanese teachers of English in elementary, middle, and high schools, and cultural exchange students are those who have a really strong Japanese language ability, and they actually work with local governments.
So this is a very interesting program. Mm-hmm. And how did you know about, or how did you apply, or who told you about this program?
A representative from the local Japanese embassy visited City College when I was a student there, and told us all about the program, much like the information session you attended, and told us about what the program would entail, what the application process was like, and I did that as a junior so that by the time I was a senior, I knew exactly what I needed to do in order to be accepted into the program. Okay.
For many students that are watching us, how is the application process?
It's a very lengthy process. It's a long, detailed application. Regarding your academics, your work with children, anything that speaks to your interest in Japanese culture. And that's phase one. That's the written part of the application. The second phase is the interview, where you meet with a former JET, a representative from the Japanese embassy, and one other person from the embassy office.
So there is or how many categories or positions in the JET program?
That's really hard to say. They accept candidates from all over the United States, and that's just a portion of the JETs who actually go to Japan and serve as either ALTs or CIRs. There are thousands of positions every single year.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you follow the process, you apply, you was accepted.
Yes.
How was the decision to go to another country?
It was a no-brainer. I knew that was something I absolutely wanted to do. As a City College student who lived at home, I didn't have the dorm experience. I was very much a commuter, and I was ready to live on my own after having lived with my parents all through college. So I was ready to try something different and go someplace new.
Okay. So how do you feel when you go to a new land and different culture, different language, different people? How was that?
I was familiar with Japanese culture only because I had visited, but living there and visiting are two very different experiences. In a city like New York, where you meet people from all different cultures and all different backgrounds all the time, it was very different to go someplace where everyone else was pretty much homogenous and I was different. It was very interesting to be different and to be the local celebrity because I was the American who stands out very clearly in Japanese society. So it was interesting.
Oh, okay, nice. Takes so long to adapt it to a new culture, or it was
some aspects of it and others not so much. The food was great. I was very much into Japanese food before visiting. in terms of just sort of the pleasantries and some of the etiquette around Japanese culture was interesting to get used to. A lot of bowing. Upon arrival, it was customary to give gifts to all of my coworkers, and that's something that's very much traditional, to give gifts to your neighbors even. So that's, it's interesting, it's different, and it was good to have people who were very patient with me. They understood that I was an American and I was new to it all, and so I think they were very, very patient with me. When it came to language, my Japanese language ability was not and still is not particularly advanced. It was interesting to have so many Japanese try out their English on me. They were very, very interested, much more so in my Japanese than trying out. They were much more interested in trying out their Japanese than their English than hearing my Japanese.
Okay, so you learn Japanese like in a course or from the people? Or you took?
A little bit of both. I learned a little bit from my students and from the teachers who are my colleagues. I took language lessons at a local community center once a week. I can't say that I progressed far beyond survival Japanese, but yeah, it was enough to get around.
So what happened when you go to buy something and nobody who speaks English?
There was usually someone. There was usually someone who, they spoke enough English for me to understand them, and I spoke enough Japanese for them to understand me, and between the two, we'd figure things out.
Okay, so what was the more significant thing that you learned from being in Japan?
One thing I learned about my students is children are children, kids are kids. They liked talking about music, and they wanted to know things about American culture. Not all of them loved school. They loved certain aspects of school. The school where I taught, it was an 4 days a week was an agricultural school, so a lot of the students there were very much into growing things and to producing growing things and selling them as part of like a local school market. They were into sports. Academics weren't the most important thing in the world to them, and that's just like American kids. Some kids are really into school, some really aren't. Everybody has different interests.
Okay. What is the advice for students who wants to take this decision or apply to JET?
If you are interested in learning more about a different culture and being really fully immersed in it, the JET program is for you. If you've ever wondered about Japanese culture, if you've ever considered education as a career, for all of those reasons, the JET program would be something to consider.
Okay. And what do you think is the most important aspect that the Japanese people is looking for a student?
They're looking for someone who's open. I think they want someone who's first and foremost open to the experience, someone who has an interest in Japanese culture. They're looking for someone who you can pretty much put anywhere, and they'll learn and adapt and, treat people with kindness and respect and expect that in return. I think, someone who's open to the experience would be a really good candidate, and I think that's what they look for.
Okay. JET program is an internship or is it a job?
It's a job.
It's a job?
It's a paid position as an assistant language teacher. You're paid by the local government. They help you find your housing more often than not. They've hosted JETs or ALTs in previous years, so there's an apartment in most cases or a house or something that's waiting for those who take over for their predecessor. And you're paid a nice salary by the local government.
Oh, nice. So you don't have to worry about how to get apartment or how to get...
In most cases,
they take care of that.
They at the very least, there's someone at the school level who's kind of like a liaison who helps you figure out where the supermarket is, where to pay your rent, how to set up a bank account so that you can pay all of your bills by direct deposit. Someone to kind of just show you the ropes and get you acclimated.
So this is a good opportunity for somebody who wants to change like her life or start something new, right?
Absolutely. And as a member of the program, I met JETs from all over the world, from Great Britain, from New Zealand, from Australia, not to mention, the hosts of wonderful students and teachers and members of the community who embraced me while I was in Japan.
So you have friends from everybody, every part of the world.
I definitely did make friends all over the world.
Okay, and you were like in an important city like Osaka or Tokyo, or
I most certainly was not. On my
No?
application, I indicated that I was interested in taiko drumming. So I was placed in Ishikawa Prefecture, which is on the west coast. Tokyo is on the east coast, so it sticks out into the Pacific. I was on the west coast by the Sea of Japan, and it was very different from Tokyo, very different from Osaka. It was in what would be considered a suburban area, but it was also dotted with lots of rice paddies. And again, I worked at an agricultural school, so they had animals and they had farmland, and it was interesting. It was really interesting.
Okay, for example, if I want to apply for that, right, and it's for a year, right?
Yes.
You have to sign for a year.
The minimum contract is for 1 year.
For 1 year. What happens if I want to come back for 2 weeks or a week? Is it possible to do that?
They have vacations built into their school year just like we do, and so travel is definitely could be a part of your experience. While I was there, I took advantage of being able to travel to Beijing. I visited Hawaii while I lived in Japan. It was,
And you have a lot of stamps in your passport.
I definitely did, yes.
Yeah. Okay. What is your advice for all students who are thinking about this program or other programs?
For any student who's thinking about teaching abroad, I'd say do your homework early. Visit the website, get to know what their requirements entail. Maybe take a foreign language class, because I found out about this program when I was a junior, and I had an opportunity to find out what they were looking for, and because I knew well before my senior year that it was something that I wanted to do, I was able to get in a Japanese language course, and I think that made me pretty competitive. So if you're thinking about going to a foreign country, have some experience with the language, have some experience with the culture, and apply early.
How is the website? The website is very friendly to...
I would say the Japanese language website, which is created by the JET website, which is created by the Japanese Embassy, is pretty easy to navigate. It's pretty standard website. I would say do a Google search for JET program.
Okay, so the
JET
easy
program,
way.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, and we will back with more Bronx Journal.
When I have an asthma attack, I feel scared. Sometimes my parents have to take me to the hospital. I feel like a fish with no water.
You know how to react to their asthma attacks. Here's how to prevent them. Call 1-866-NO-ATTACKS. Visit www.noattacks.org or call your doctor. Because even one attack is one too many.
Big dreams and good grades aren't enough to get into college. There are actual steps you need to take. Finding someone who can help is the first and most important. For the next steps, go to knowhowtogo.org.
Welcome back to the Bronx Journal. I'm Christy Padilla. MMA, jiu-jitsu, and kickboxing are all forms of martial arts. However, martial arts isn't just self-defense. It's considered a sport, an activity of combat, and even a method of working out. For many people, staying in shape as well as being physically fit is very important, but mental fitness is also important too. Masuko, a coach and owner of Masuko's MMA, brings martial arts to the Bronx with a studio that teaches different methods of self-defense. Masuko, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for having me. All right, so I kind of want to start by asking you, how did you get started in martial arts?
Well, I started in martial arts when I was 8 years old with a gentleman by the name of Grandmaster Reno Morales, who had a center, and he was offering martial arts for kids that couldn't really afford it. He just came back from Vietnam and whatnot, started a great program, and that was the beginning of my martial arts. Yeah.
So he was like a mentor to you?
Absolutely, he was a mentor, through my martial arts career until he passed away last year. He was guiding me and whatnot, and then through there I met my teacher, George Vascones, and my pugilistic coach, Tony Melendez.
Now, was there any experience that you went through that actually made you want to become a martial arts?
Absolutely. Well, I grew up in a battered environment, seeing my mother abused and whatnot, and I was also battered when I was young, and the martial arts was like my Bobby's world. It was an escape from the nightmare that I used to be in, you know?
So that was kind of a personal outlet for you?
Absolutely. It saved my life, yes.
Now, were you self-taught, or did you have any other previous experience?
No, self-taught. No, I was privileged to have Grandmaster Reno. Also trained with Grandmaster George Rascones, which passed away, and my master Tony Melendez. So those are my instructors. I trained with other people too, but those are my instructors who taught me.
Now, how about your family and friends? Were they supportive of you actually starting martial arts, or were they a little taken aback by it?
Well, like I said, being in a battered environment, the only one I really had to support was really my mom's. And then later on, as I progressed, my family, always backed me up.
Now, how difficult was it to actually train and learn all these different skills and movements?
Well, in the beginning, I started out with traditional bare knuckle karate. And then as I got older and started doing the boxing and the kickboxing, it started getting a little bit more difficult because it meant more contact. And there's a difference between sports karate and pugilistic, and full contact karate and kickboxing and Muay Thai kickboxing and MMA, where you have to really train and condition and strength train and all these different forms of exercise to help you get to the next level, So it was very, very, very hard.
Now, when was the moment that you actually realized you wanted to change this activity and make it an actual career for yourself?
About the age of 16, I started teaching for the Parks and Recreation with my instructor. And it's one thing to know how to fight, but to actually teach is a totally different thing. So I was privileged that my teacher took me on his wing and started showing me actually how to teach. And I would teach at the Parks and Recreations. And at the age of 19, after I took a certain titles, pro amateur kickboxing and whatnot, I opened up my first school, and we're here now, right?
So how long can you say you actually been teaching since you've been 19?
I've been teaching now. It makes 21 years now I've been teaching, actually.
That's a really long time. That's awesome. And you actually have a studio here in the Bronx?
Yes, I own Masuko's Mixed Martial Arts and Boxing Academy.
Can you tell me a little bit about that? Like, how hard was it to actually start up a studio?
Well, they say if you could believe it, you could achieve it, right? So, if it wasn't for the support of my family, my students, and my Uncle Jazz, who always been there, and it would have been difficult. But it's a family, it's a brotherhood. We keep the school open together. It's not like a commercial school. It's more like a family-orientated school. We do everything from Zumba to Sai-Sai to karate to Kung Fu. It's like a martial arts temple.
So it's kind of like you're working with the community. So
Absolutely.
Do you think it's important to have a place like that for us to come to as a community, as the Bronx community?
Absolutely. If you realize now that all the PLs are closed, so there's no more boxing programs, there's no outlets for kids to actually go and to learn these things. When I was coming up, I was fortunate. You had the PL. There's none of that. So the kids resort to other things, the streets, gangs, and whatnot. You see what's going on with this knockout game, which is very bad. But that goes to show if you don't have a place for these kids to get guidance and to release that energy, they're gonna find another way. So
So what makes your teachings different than any other martial arts studio or workout place?
I still have that old school mentality. It's not about the money with me. I got kids that can't afford, that just come in the weekends and clean up, and I got people that are very supportive. So everybody, it balances out. I have a zero tolerance for certain things. And business-wise, it's not good because you lose a lot of students like that. But I believe if I could get 10 guys, that turn into 50, that 50 will turn into 100, and guess what? Everybody who wants to join, they have to follow.
And how do you change up your methods of, what exercises do you use?
We do anything from plyometrics to agility to speed drills, weight training, kit fit. We do kit fit boot camps. We do cage fitness. We mix in bag work, cross training. It's MMA. You can't leave nothing out. If we have to do Zumba one day to get our hips loose, we'll do the Zumba. We gotta do salsa class to move, to learn, to listen to rhythm. We'll do the salsa. Whatever works. You cannot leave anything out in a mixed martial arts game because that could be your downfall when you get in that cage.
No, so people can benefit from it as a workout too.
Absolutely, you could train like a professional fighter. You don't have to get hit, So you can get in there, do the workout, learn how to defend yourself and whatnot. And one thing about our school is that we actually everything we do, and even though we do Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, grappling, cage fighting, we always simulate it and could use how we're going to approach it in a street confrontation, where a lot of schools just focus on the actual competitive side, but the street, being that the street has no rules, there's no rings, no referees, it's a totally different atmosphere. So you have to have the combative part of it, and then you have to have the athletic part of it. So it's totally two different things.
So what about the age range? Do you have a lot of young kids? Do you have adults?
My age starts from 3 years old. My oldest is about 78 years old right now. So
78?
Absolutely, yes, 78 years old, and he's in there. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So how exactly, everybody has a different physical fit.
Yep.
So how does that work?
So basically, everybody's at their own pace. Everybody at their own pace. There's no such thing that you can't do it in our gym. Everyone can do it. You can modify different things for different individuals.
So you take in health precautions too,
Absolutely, yeah. Usually when you come in, you sign a waiver. You let me know what's your problem or what's wrong, and then we modify. I got kids that with one hand. I got some people that are handicapped and whatnot. So.
No, that's awesome. And also, what about the elderly? Do you have any self-defense tips for them?
Absolutely. We got a program called Granny Proof where I started 2 years ago when all this stuff was happening with our seniors getting jacked up and whatnot. And so I curated a system called Granny Proof where you mix. It's mostly getting our seniors aware, for them to learn how to watch their back, to see it before it's happening. Because at 76, 80 years old, what can you do?
Exactly.
So their first line of defense is actually to see it coming and taking precautions to avoid it.
No, that's really awesome. And so I think we're going to cut to a break. Right. And when we come back, we're going to show a little demonstration.
Absolutely, yes.
So that'll be awesome.
Good.
Okay, so we'll be back with more of the Bronx Journal.
Thank you. Okay. Good.
My name's Brandon. 9 years old, being alcoholic.
Hi, Brandon.
I'll start drinking with the older kids. And whatever they do, I'll do.
Kids who drink before age 15 are 5 times more likely to have alcohol problems when they're adults. So start talking before they start drinking.
I know it'll start with alcohol. I'm just not sure how it's gonna end.
Well, Masuko, now that we're back, we can actually show the audience the stuff that you guys actually do at the MMA studio.
Okay, actually, my girls are gonna demonstrate a little bit of Thai kickboxing real quick, one after another. Right, push, work. Basic combination, go. Good. Again, go. Again, go. Put in the front kick now, after that, go. Again, go. Leg kick after that. Leg kick hard, double up. And cross hook right away. Cross hook right away. Cross hook again. Leg kick after that, go. Good, come on, do it again, let's go. Go. Yeah, man, good job. Give a hand, that was good. All right, nice, come on. Let's go. Exploding drills. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. Again, go. Again, go. Front kick right away. Go. Leg kicks hard. Let's go. Round kick hard. Good. Round kick again. Round kick again. Round kick again. Triple up. 3. Pyramid. Go. 1, 2. Harder. 3. Con gana. Vamos otra vez. Dale. 3. Go. 1, 2. Come on. 3. Good job. Yeah, man. Good job. Okay. Up. Next. Okay, now she's going to demonstrate elbows off a combination 1, 2 hook, and then going into a couple elbows. Go. Do it slow. 1, 2 hook. Elbows. 1, 2. Good. Knees right away. And knees. Good. And switch. And now put it together. Put it together again. Let's go. Let's go. Round kicks. Let's go. Round kick. Round kick. Round kick. Good. Harder. Good. Again. Let's go. Again. Back to combinations again. Go. Elbows. Elbows. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And round kick. Go. Go. 2. Let's go again. Let's go. Let's go. Good. Elbows, knees. Knees. Good. 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 And yeah, man. Good job. Okay. Some of my men real quick. These are my future champs over here. Okay. So now you're gonna see a little bit more intensity, a little bit more power. Quick. Hands up. Start marching, nice and easy. Okay. Like I'm Geppetto and he's Pinocchio over here, right? Hands up, nice, jab, double it up, up. Nice cross, whoosh, cross, whoosh, cross, whoosh. 1, 2, whoosh, 1, 2, whoosh, 1, 2 hook, double it up, double it up, go, and nice, whoosh, again, double it up, whoosh, whoosh, again, double it up, whoosh, whoosh, again, double it up, whoosh, whoosh, knee, yeah. Cross hook, knee again, cross hook, get under, whoa, 4, go, 4 again, do it again, get under, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and switch kick, up, go, leg kick, Y'all make a good job. Good.
Wow.
So now, come up. They're gonna go like a little like sparring into like a takedown, nice and easy. Go work. Let's go. Nice and easy. Good. Work the takedown. Take down. Nice shoot. Work with each other. Go. You take. Take turns. Go. Work. Good. Nice and easy. Work. Good. Go. Sprawl right away. Work. Good. And Yami, good job. Up again. Let's go. Take turns. I'm going to choke y'all for real. Go. Work.
Well, how can we reach you?
Well, you could call me at 646-703-1054, or you can come to the gym at 2966 Jerome in Bedford. You can't mix it. You got all the characters there. All right, good. Work the arm bar. Work the arm bar right away. Good. And Yami, good. Good. Work. Good. Work. Good. Leg kick. Out. Let's go. Work. Out of reach. Good. Sweep. Nice and easy. Good takedown. Good. Move. Good. Yami, good job. Excellent.
Thank you so much.
One more thing.
Let's go. We're running out of time.
Well, let's finish off good. Let's go. So from here, I'm going to work. Just go hands up. There's my future champ here. Yeah, undefeated. Good. Work the takedown. Good. Good. Work. Good. Work the arm right away. Good. Good. Work. I don't know what I way. Oh. Good. I'm going to apply right away. Boom. T-lock. Good. Good. Nice and easy. Sweet. Get under. Good. Work. I didn't turn it. Good job. So you got a little demonstration of everything.
Thank you so much for being here. It was a pleasure interviewing you.
Yes.
And we'll be back with more of the Bronx Journal.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Every year, mothers lose their babies to gun crimes. You'll always be your mother's baby. So before you commit a gun crime, think about who you'll leave behind. Gun crimes hit home.
Welcome back to the Bronx Journal. I am Melissa Fernandez. It has been almost 3 years since a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck the island of Haiti. In a matter of only seconds, over 300,000 people lost their lives and more than 1 million lost their homes. The organization known as Community to Community is working to provide much needed help rebuilding Haiti and making its communities stronger and self-sufficient. We welcome the founder of Community to Community, Marie-Jolene, and Urban Development Planner and Project Manager, Vanessa Leon. Thank you for joining us. What is Community to Community?
Well, Community to Community is a nonprofit 501c3 service organization. It was born out of the earthquake. I was actually working at American Express during 2010, and in January, my life changed after the earthquake. And subsequently, in May of that year, I resigned from my position, and I wanted to do something. My father gave me a really strong love for my country, and so I wanted to go to his hometown and see what I could do. So in August of that year, I went to Petit Guave, and Community to Community was born.
Wow, and what is the mission of it, of the organization?
Our mission and our vision is to create self-sufficient communities by working with the community. One of the things that we noticed during the earthquake was the piecemeal approach that many organizations were approaching the earthquake itself. So they were bringing water but not medicine, or they were bringing food but not water. So it just seemed that there could be a better way to do it. And so I just looked for other organizations that I saw that were doing it more in a holistic manner. And we just applied a lot of what we learned. So for us, it's about the community making the decisions about what it is that they would like to do. And the community that we work with, for example, they specifically wanted infrastructure help. So that involves for us a school, reforestation, a road, and a water system.
Why do you pick community to community as a name? Is it based on community to community within Haiti, or like you also go to other communities? Or
That's a great question. I felt strongly at the time that it wasn't going to be big corporations and organizations that were going to help people. It was going to be people that were going to help people. That's what happens when you have a neighbor. If something happens to you, you don't, pick up and go 100 miles. You go next door. Do you have sugar? Do you have water? We need help. And I felt for me that these were our neighbors. These were our families. These were, people that we knew. So for us, it starts in Haiti. So it's one community helping another.
Okay. And can you talk a little bit, and you as well if you want, where does the organization get its funding from? How you guys get money for the organization?
Various locations. Actually, when we started, people came out of their pockets. We had fundraisers. We sold cars. We did whatever we had to do to make it happen, because we were young and we were new and getting started. But the first year, what we did was we had a benefit concert at the Apollo at the first anniversary in 2011. And since then, we now have what is called Hope in the Future, a celebration of Haiti that happens every year. This year, for 2013, we had it in May, and we had what was called an IT marché, where we had artisanas that were there, and food and music and dancers, and we had one of the top acts in Haiti, Emeline Michel. We had Mosaic, we had Bello, and it occurred at Christian Cultural Center, who's been a huge supporter of ours. And so now we're excited about the different things that we're able to do. For example, Run for Haiti. We've run in the New York City Marathon. We have a team member. So he did it because last year Hurricane Sandy shut us down. But we were very fortunate that this year he was able to complete the 26.2 miles. So putting all of that together has given us the opportunity to attract technical folks like Vanessa with Penchina Consulting. I myself am not an engineer. I'm not an urban planner. I'm not a doctor. What I am is someone who's able to bring those folks together and let them operate in their gifts, and that's pretty much what
Can you
she's doing.
also talk a little bit about any activities that you guys do to raise money?
Well, the raising money aspect, I tend to leave it to Marie, but I'm happy to spend that money or use it towards our initiatives in the community. And so for C2C, as you've heard, one of the signature initiatives has been the water project, as well as rebuilding the school and reforestation and completing a road. And so for me as an urban planner, Marie mentioned I actually have my own urban planning firm, Penchina Consulting. Like Marie, I'm Haitian American, and after the earthquake, I just wanted to find a way to give back to rebuilding and helping communities, and not just, here's clothes or here's, food, which is important and needed, but how do we make sure that when we look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, we're not still giving clothes and, food, and people are actually able to have a way of making a livelihood for themselves. And so, for example, with the water project, it's not just the people need water. It's a water distribution system, that entails water governance. Same way we have, we pay water bills here, and there are entities that take care of that, and we don't necessarily have to worry about them as much. That can also exist in a place like Haiti. It's about community building. When people are going, instead of having to walk 2 to 3 hours or more to get water, they're able to go to a kiosk, turn the water on and off, and get their water that way. It's building a neighborhood, around that kiosk, and those types of considerations. And so the funds that C2C raises, it's going to things like that, the actual building of the project, but the upkeep and building the people as well.
Why you decided to become part of community to community?
It's a great question.
How you started to get involved in
So
community
I was
community?
actually recommended to community. A colleague of mine knew Marie and said, there's this great organization doing some really groundbreaking work in Haiti. You really should try to contact them. And so it took some time for us to be in touch. But community was doing something very different, very much an alternative to development as it's done. And when I say that, I mean a lot of times organizations and people, well-intentioned, will come to a place like Haiti and want to do the work to say that my organization did this work because we're so great, and things like that. And it is what it is, right? But the goal wasn't so much for a particular organization to stand out. So when you go to Haiti and you're with community, there are no T-shirts that say, here's our organization, here's our logo. It's really the work that's being done and the people's lives who are being changed and impacted by that. And I didn't have a lot of examples of that happening at the time. And so when I saw what C2C was doing, it was a great opportunity to really give back in a way that I felt true to, in a way that phases me out, so that if it is, 5, 10, 15 years from now, I don't have to be there necessarily for the work to continue, but knowing that the work that we're doing today is laying that foundation that the community themselves can carry it out, is something that C2C provided that wasn't readily available elsewhere.
Can you please describe the condition of Haiti when, a few years ago, when the earthquake struck?
Wow. I think we both have different experiences because she was in the north and where we are now is in the south. I mean, I'm thankful because I'm not a first responder. I'm thankful for the people who soon after were there immediately. I know that I could not have handled that. I could not have seen bodies all over the street. I know that that would have been too difficult for me. I was very thankful for our neighbors, for folks within the Caribbean, the other islands, the DR, coming over because they were really the first responders to really assist and helping people. I mean, it's like anything else. You can't imagine. It was 35 seconds and 300,000 people are dead. Like, that's crazy. How do you even calculate that, And the problem was infrastructure. So houses were not built correctly. All of those people did not have to die. If we had better infrastructure, they would be alive. Earthquake hadn't hit Haiti in over 200 years. Many people ran into their homes because they didn't know what was going on. If they had had better preparation, they would have known to stay outside. So it's just those kinds of things. When I went, the rubble was still there. The palace had caved in.
Wow.
It was hard. It was hard. I didn't know what I was going to see. But I'll tell you what was interesting was I actually went, the first time I was with my best friend. And everyone was telling her, like, aren't you afraid? She's a mother. And they were like, well, aren't you scared? What if something happens to you? And I hadn't been home in 16 years, so I couldn't really give her comfort. So I'm just praying, like, I feel responsible for her. And I remember when we touched down first, I was like, are there any trees left in my country? I don't even know what to expect because the news was just bad. But we landed, I remember, and we got into the car. And as we were going down Rue Nationale to go to Petit Goave, Haiti is famous for several things. One of them is called tap-taps. And the tap-taps are these very colorful vans that folks paint. There's stories, there's scripture on them. And as it was coming by, the one said, Bon Dieu avec vous, God is with you.
Wow.
And that drove by. And I was just breathing. And then I was like, okay. And then the next one was like, Pape, bon Dieu avec vous, don't be afraid, God is with you. It was really strange. I kept reading them. After a while, I started writing down, what they were saying. Don't be afraid. And I just felt this peace. And when I got to my dad's hometown and saw, I just knew that everything was going to be okay. I didn't know how, and I didn't know who, and I didn't know when. But I just knew that I made a decision in my heart that I couldn't stay here and do nothing. And truthfully, ever since then, I would say we have great progress now. The fact that we're halfway done with the water, that he's brought amazing people like Vanessa, like the partners we have here between ADIHA, the Association of Haitian and American Engineers, opportunities like this to be on your show. These are not things we necessarily searched out. What we do is we just work really hard, and thank God that people tell other people about us. I don't have a budget of like $5 million to go talk about it.
And can you say a little bit of how is Haiti doing now?
Well, the challenge with that question I always find is that Haiti, it's really important to look at Haiti less as a monolith, but really understanding the nuances and the variances when you say Haiti. It's sort of like asking, in some ways, I joke with people all the time, like, how's the United States? Or, that type of thing, because it's so different depending on where in Haiti you're talking about. So where we're working with the mountain community in Petit Guave, Haiti, is very different from what you'll find when you land in the capital, which is more urban, and that's a lot of the images that you'll see on TV. So it's hard to say how the entire country is doing, but for where we are, I would say that there's been some serious progress that has been made that's very encouraging, that inspires us, that keeps us going and working hard and late. Of course, there's more work to be done, but there are a lot of amazing people engaged in doing that work. Like the community that we're working with, I feel like I get more from them than I can ever give to them with the knowledge and insight that they provide, their dedication, their commitment to seeing a better future for their locality. And so that's what keeps us involved in a lot of ways with our technical expertise and whatever resources we might bring to the table. But there's some progress to be had still, but I would say that we're on a better path than we were.
So can you please tell the viewers your contact information, the main office, where it's located?
Sure. We operate out of Brooklyn. And if folks are interested in participating or donating or learning more about us, they can visit our website first, which is www.community. They feel free to call us at 718-393-7740. There's excellent opportunities to get involved, whether it is from a technical aspect or whether it's volunteering their talents or whether it's coming to travel to come down with us. There's always something to do. We have internships as well.
Well, thank you, Marie-Jolaine Eusivi and Vanessa Leon, for coming to the show. And thank you for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
We'll see you soon at another edition of the Bronx Journal.